Thank you everyone for having a look at this video. We're lucky enough to have one of our clients, Martin Howland, who's joining us.
Thanks,
Welcome,
Rory.
Martin.
Thank you, Rory.
Mate, thanks so much for giving us some time. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here.
So, do you want to introduce yourself, give us a little bit of a background to yourself, your sort of age, rank, serial number, that sort of stuff?
Sure, yeah. So, Martin Howland, 50 years of age. Myself and my wife have 4 beautiful kids. Mum's a nurse and Dad's an engineer, now project manager. We've had an interesting, I suppose probably seems to us is probably a standard financial journey up until now, but hard-working people with, mum and dad investors, got the home loan and got the investment property, and happy to come and have a chat to you guys.
Thank you very much, mate. So, what prompted the request to chat with a financial planner? I should say, Martin and I go to the gym in mornings. That's how we met, and over the year or two that we've sort of known each other, you knew what I did and sort of prompted a question. What happened before you asked that question to prompt that?
I think it became obvious to us that we were working hard. We knew we were making pretty good money, but yet we weren't really achieving our goals. We weren't sort of making great progress, and it was becoming obvious that we're looking down the barrel of, let's call it, if things go well, 10 to 15 years of work left.
Sure. Yeah.
And we were in a situation where we'd sort of recently got a new home loan, which was bigger than the last one, and we wanted to make sure that was paid off as a bare minimum by the time we retired.
Yeah,
so that was the genesis for us seeking advice, and realising that we needed to try and do something differently.
It's a common thing. It's a common push. I think when people become our age, it's kind of one of those triggers. They go, "Oh shit, I better do something about this debt." So that's certainly not uncommon. What did you expect? I mean, we like to at Own, go, I suppose, beyond the ordinary, not give people what they initially expect when they see a mortgage broker or a financial planner, as you have with Dane and Adele. What did you expect though when you going into that first meeting?
We didn't know what to expect, to be honest. Yeah. We really didn't know what to expect. We hadn't been through this process before. We'd spoken to some people who had, sought financial planning advice before, and I think we probably thought that it was going to be a one fit for all kind of, go and see a financial planner. They'll say, well, just invest in this and this and this, and you'll make money. So we didn't. That's probably what we expected.
Okay. And what have you got? What are there some surprises that you some things that the guys said? I didn't expect that, or that's a great way of thinking about it. Was there any surprises that you have had?
Oh, look, the surprises. The big surprise for us, and what's been really the most beneficial, we think, has really been the goals-based approach.
Right.
So really taking the time and no pun intended, we were very invested in the process.
Yeah, sure.
Because we wanted to get the most out of it.
Yep.
And look, Dane and Adele have been fantastic with regards understanding our situation and understanding our circumstances.
Yep.
So that's one side of it, but then also digging down into our goals.
Yep, great.
And being able to model and very succinctly and graphically illustrate for us how it can work.
Yeah, great, amazing. And I think that's why most people go and see them, because of that goals-based aspect, which is so important, because you're not going to you can't have a cookie-cutter approach if it's aligned to the client's goals, and that's what makes it so powerful. So I know it's reasonably early days in your journey with them, but has there been some changes that you've made in your money management or financial management that sort of stands out?
Look, so far, we're making some big changes. We're sort of in the implementation phase at the moment.
Yeah.
We certainly have made some initial changes, and even the changes that we've made are part of the bigger picture. And it's just as simple as things like, using spare money to offset our home loan. Using that as our savings account as opposed to putting it somewhere else.
Sure.
And And what we've loved actually is the holistic approach the guys take.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so it's not just about the options around investments, but how to leverage the home loan, how to set up accounts. Like it's very holistic, and we really appreciate that.
Awesome. What we find a lot is that money can be a major hang-up, and the mindset around money can be a real issue for people.
Yeah.
Do you think that was an issue for you guys coming into it? And if so, has that changed at all?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we're just unsure about how our future was mapped out, what our pathway was to get to where we wanted to go. And after going through a bit of that goals-based process and looking at options, they were able to actually map out to show how we can pay off our loan for 10 years and set ourselves up to support the kids, with their goals as well. So it took us away from a bit of took away that anxiety, I suppose.
Sure. Awesome.
Which was good.
Good. And you touched on something really important that is close to my heart, and that's showing your kids how to do it. I know when I was growing up, I wasn't taught anything about money. If I asked my parents how much they earn, I'd get a backhander, I reckon. So I just didn't, and the challenge for me as my kids have grown up, we've got very similar age kids, is being more open and honest with them. And I think that will hopefully that alone will hopefully set them up in a much better way than we did.
Yeah. Financial education is something that we've gotten out of it, and we've spoken about this, it's not my day-to-day stuff, but it's yours and it's Dane's and it's Adil's.
Absolutely.
So, being able to work with those guys and draw from their knowledge base and experience has been great. So we're sort of getting educated. And even the fantastic slide packs that the guys do after each milestone, we can share that with the kids and go, look at this,
Absolutely.
You can see a graph that goes, here's the home loan coming down, there's our investments going up.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah,
so it's been an educational pathway as well.
Yeah, great. So what advice would you give someone thinking about starting on the journey that you've been on?
You should have started 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago,
Sure.
Yeah.
It's always the thing, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago? When's the next best time? Today. So.
Correct. Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Yeah, good advice. What advice would I give? I think anyone that takes that goals-based approach, I think is going down the right way, because you need to really look at where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
But the first step is actually understanding where you are.
Sure.
And that's not easy either.
Sure.
So that takes a bit of investment of your own time.
Indeed. Absolutely. And as you've touched on it a couple of times, that investment you really have to be to get the most out of it. Invest in the process.
Yeah.
Dane and Bill are amazing, but you've got to meet them halfway, and you guys are certainly going well on above that.
No. Well, that's what I'd say to anyone who was starting on that process.
Sure. Is there anything else you'd like to add about your experience with own financial planning and own money in general?
Not really. I think I've sort of covered it. Like, we're invested in the process. We think it's a really good pathway.
Right.
We think that again, making the complex, what appeared to be complex to us and give us anxiety, has now been made really simple.
Right.
There's a lovely pathway that Adil says, Martin, you just need to do this, this, and this, and go, well, that's it.
I'll do it then.
Cool, done.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to finish on this. Now that you've got, I suppose, some more financial literacy and you've been invested in this process, if you were, now I'm not going to do it, mate, but if you were given like $5,000 today, what would you do with it?
I'd probably go and talk to Adil and say, mate, what do you reckon you should do with this?
Fantastic. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Mate, thank you so much. I suppose not only for your time today, but just for trusting me and the broader team and Dane and Adil to be so involved in your and Polly's world. It is really appreciated, and the best is yet to come. But thank you.
Great. Thank you, Rory. We've enjoyed the journey so far, and we'll continue to enjoy it as we go forward.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone for having a look. Thanks so much.